Have you ever walked out of a lecture or perused through your online course thinking, I've taught this exact same class the exact same way for years? Maybe you felt like you were just on autopilot. If you've been there, trust me, you are not alone. Every passionate educator I know has hit that point at least once in their career. And here's the truth. It's not a sign that you're a bad instructor. It's a sign that it's time to reflect, recalibrate, and re engage. Hi, I'm Dr. Kelly Austin, and in this series, we're talking about how reflective practice can transform your teaching, your students' learning, and your well being. If you've been feeling that teaching rut where lessons feel routine, students seem less engaged, and you're not as energized as you once were, then today's conversation is especially for you. And before we go too far, I want to let you in on something I created for faculty who want to get out of that rut without adding a mountain of extra work to their plate. It's called the Mindful Academic Challenge. It's a 16-week guided experience where we use my journal, the Professor's Week in Review, to make reflective practice easy, consistent, and meaningful. The journal walks you through the same prompts every week, 9 prompts. Things like, what went well this week? What will you strive to do differently? Who might support you in bringing your plan to fruition? You can use these prompts in as little as 30 minutes a week, but the shift that you will feel in your teaching and your energy is huge. During the challenge, you will see a weekly email in your inbox as a gentle reminder, sprinkled with a little inspiration, along with a weekly invitation to join our co writing, or should I say, co reflection sessions on Saturdays. Finally, you will have the structure, accountability, and community to actually make reflection a practice and not just a once in a while experience. So, as you're listening today, I want you to think about how these prompts could work for you and know that you can join the challenge anytime to put them into action. Just click the link in the description or scan the QR code for bit.ly mindful semester for all the details. Let's talk about how you can recognize if you are stuck in a stale teaching routine. Here's a little checklist: same slides, same lectures, same modules, same quizzes, and tests year after year. Assignments that haven't been updated in ages. Predictable discussions where you can already anticipate every answer. Student impact, their energy mirrors yours. Lower participation, less curiosity, minimal aha moments. No evidence of meaningful, relevant learning that transforms behavior, mindset, or skill set. One of the prompts I love in the journal is, what did you learn about your students this week? Because sometimes the rut shows up in their behavior before it registers in ours. Sometimes we find ourselves griping and complaining about our students when the truth of the matter is that we are to blame. We are still teaching students of yesteryear instead of meeting the needs of students in our courses today. Instead of wallowing in the reality that students have changed as they have been born into a rapidly changing world, We must prioritize getting to know who they are and then redesigning our courses so that they relate to their lives and the marketplace that awaits them today or in the very near future. Taking time to respond to this prompt each week is a powerful way to keep us on our toes and to ensure that instruction never becomes stale and that learning is always a worthwhile process. Now, do not get me wrong. I am not saying that you should not develop systems or routines for your courses or that you should not think smarter but harder. I am the queen of systematic instruction, 100%. You see, routines and systems provide stability and efficiency. In fact, one of my favorite business people in the world, Layla Harmozy, emphasizes the importance of systems in her video, How to Build Systems to Achieve Your Goals. She shares that we need to stop focusing on the goal so much, but instead create the system or method of consistent steps that we do every single day that help us achieve the goal. Likewise, in college, teaching routines or systems are beneficial for your students and for you. They give your students a framework for learning and act as a guide to show you specific areas in which you can support them. Recently, I worked with a client on creating a course framework for her art history course. I showed her how she could create a systematic approach to active learning in her face to face course that, number one, made it more interesting for her to teach because she was feeling drained and over it. And number two, help students to see the relevance of how history and art are very much relevant to their lives. So, if your routine or system is beneficial to your students, execute it confidently. But keep in mind that a routine or system unchecked by reflection can quietly become rigidity. Reflective practice is the intentional habit of looking at what we do, how we do it, and why, and making changes based on what we learn. It's not just reflective thinking for the sake of getting something off our chest. Hence the reason I included prompts that help you not only reflect, but also be very explicit about what you plan to do differently. Each week, you will find yourself on this reflective loop. Pause and notice, dig deeper, and take action. Let me share a story with you. After 3 years of using discussion boards for asynchronous courses, which drained the life out of me, literally, and did not seem to be the most effective way to keep students engaged or to address learning outcomes. I decided that I wanted to introduce something more stimulating, something that did not call itself a discussion or cosplay as a discussion. So I introduced journals and blogs. I created linking content to life journals, current event blogs, video blogs, audio blogs, you name it, and so much more. I was actually excited while designing them, and the students expressed gratitude for removing discussion boards momentarily from their lives. This outcome only happened because I paused and noticed, dug deeper, and then took action. So let's practice this concept and make it make sense. Grab a sheet of paper or open another tab on your screen and let's call it Student visioning. If you teach multiple courses, you may or may not have a different demographic of students in each one. But whichever the case may be, I want you to focus on the student, not the content this semester. As Dr. Norman Ing says in his book, Teaching College. For this activity, I want you to create a table with 4 columns. On the left side, write the names of the courses you teach, one by one. At the top of the first column, write, who am I teaching? In the second column, write, what can they do? In the third column, write, what do they need? And in the fourth column, write, what do they desire? Then I want you to create a huge text box simply called How right up underneath it. In that text box, think about how you will find the answers to these questions. Will you have discovery sessions where you set up 15-minute blocks to talk to your students? Will you have an open house where you have them discuss these questions in groups and then share their responses with everyone? Will you send a survey or use a blog, journal, or discussion board? Take some time to see your students as the center of your course universe and get to know them for who they are and not who you may expect or assume they might be. Is that all right? Let's bring it all together. Listen, ruts happen. They're a natural signal, not a failure. Reflection re energizes your teaching. Prompts keep you focused and make the process doable. When you commit to at least 30 minutes of reflection each week, you're not just improving your teaching, you're reclaiming the joy that brought you into this profession in the first place. And I hope there was some joy that brought you to this profession. If you're ready to breathe new life into your teaching, join us in the Mindful Academic Challenge. You'll have my journal, The Professor's Week in Review, which offers 16 weeks of guided reflection, which means you don't even have to figure out what to write about. And if you choose to join us, you will have a community of folks who are just as committed to growth as you are, doing it right alongside you for moral support. Plus, you will know that you are not on this journey alone. The bonus, you will leave each week with fresh insight and renewed energy. You can sign up using the link in the description or my pinned comment under this video, and of course, this QR code. I'd love to see you there. And in our next video, we're going to talk about how reflective practice can bridge the student success gap, even when you feel like you've tried everything. Don't miss it. Let's make it a mindful semester.